Howdy do, my little howdy doodies. How do you do? How you doing? How you doing today? Here we are on this show, coming to you on the worldwide internet highway, superhighway internet technology thing. That's how I'm reaching out to you today. Oh, reaching across the airwaves and through time and space. Time and space don't matter to us, kids. Not to me. I don't care what day of the week it is. I don't care if it's the present or the future. I'm coming to you from the past, and I'm broadcasting out towards you like a fucking dynamite stick exploding through different layers of reality. And today, children, I'm Uncle fucking Bob Call, and today we're talking about Today, on this this show where I teach you about stuff or I just fucking talk about shit. Today I'm talking about the information superhighway. When I was but a wee lad, they called the internet the information superhighway. Hey, everybody, get on board the information superhighway. It's the wave of the future. Why is a highway like a wave? Well, we were mixing our metaphors. We were combining terminology. Do you kids? Oh man, do you remember the early '90s? What a time to be alive, children. I remember so many things in my life, man. I remember seeing what was that? The Berlin Wall came down, man, and fucking tanks rolled through Tiananmen Square, and like fucking Brian Mulrooney, he was somewhere doing something. There were all sorts of people, children. Some of that was the 80s, and then the 90s happened, and fucking Alf was there, and fucking other shit was going on. And fucking I didn't know nothing, man. I was only partially plugged into it, but... And then this thing started happening, man. A bunch of fucking military nerds started making their computers talk to one another over the phone lines. And then some other nerds got a hold of that technology, and they were like, man, this might be a thing. This might be like maybe in the future, we're going to be able to send messages over computers to one another, like little signals. Like what you do with a phone right now. We can send a picture or a file, a text file. We could fucking mail it to someone over the phone, and it'll get there like almost instantaneously. It'll take a little while to download, you know. We got like fucking 56K modem and shit like that, man. It's just fucking like beep boop 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 beep. Every fucking time you want to fucking dial up, and like you can't fucking. And then it became a more common thing, you know. I remember the days when like friends of mine, their fucking dad would get the internet at home, and he'd have a fucking Yahoo Mail thing. I got a fucking Yahoo Mail thing, man. Fucking Yahoo Mail's still around, man. Since like fucking Yahoo Mail's been around since like 1995. How fucking crazy is that, man? Like, I don't know. It seems pretty fucking crazy to me. I'm lucky it's still fucking up there. One of these days it's not going to work anymore, and I'm going to be all fucking out of email and out of bad news. And that's bad news for me, kids. So I remember going on the information superhighway, man. Back in the past, we didn't know what it was gonna mean, man. Back in the past, things were very different. We didn't just talk to people who were far away from us, you know? I mean, today, man, if I want to fucking if I just want to ask somebody in Russia a question, I could just go on Twitter and just like fucking hashtag ask a Russian person a question or some shit like that, and fucking instantaneously be talking to somebody around the world. Around the fucking world, man. You remember that song? Around the world, around the world. That's how it went. We were into a lot of atonal music back then as well, kids. We were into all sorts of stuff, man. There were Funky Bunches and Kids on the Blocks and fucking Nine Inch Nails rising out of the fucking soil and stabbing into the heart of the sun. The heart of the sun, children. That's where we're aiming our fucking wisdom and our insight. So how did it change everything, man? Did it fucking change everything? Not at first, man. It was slow moving at first, you know. Only nerds gave a fuck about it. We were talking, and I was on there with the other nerds, man. We were talking about Star Trek and Quentin Tarantino movies and fucking shit that fucking dumbass nerds are into. Fucking what else we talk about? Nudity. There was so much pornography on the internet. People were shocked about that at first, man. They were like, can you believe it? There's more pornographic traffic on the internet than anything else. Oh my God, I'm so shocked by this, Barbara. It's like fucking, as it turns out, that was, the internet was a real eye opener for everybody, man. It made us see our culture for what it really was. It was the next stage of our cultural evolution as we stepped forward, as we moved towards a new millennium, which was either in the year 2000 or the year 2001, depending on who you asked. Everybody, we couldn't agree on things, and the internet was starting to show that off. It was starting to show how there were all these things that we all just took for granted, like, oh, that's just the way the world is, man. Everybody, that's a normative experience that everybody has. And then gradually the internet started giving a voice to more and more people, and we began seeing that there was no normal didn't fucking mean anything at all, man. Everybody's just having their own, like, separate subjective experiences that they're all being fucking judgmental and weird about in their own fucking heads, man. We're all going through our own shit, and the more we fucking talked about it, we could start to see similarities. Again, of like, I could talk to that fictitious Russian friend of mine, or like people in fucking foreign countries. I know all sorts of people in foreign countries now, man, of fucking talking about crazy shit. Fucking 100 years ago, you didn't have a bunch of fucking friends in foreign countries unless you were some rich person. Oh, I travel around the world and have expensive pen pals. Oh, This is like fucking now, fucking like normal fucking like hippie bums can fucking talk to people around the world, man. All over the planet. You can meet a person, and you can fucking exchange their email address and fucking be their friends for the rest of your fucking life, man. You fucking drink beer in Times Square and fucking meet somebody and tell them who you are and be like, man, I'm from fucking middle of fucking nowhere. And they'd be like, fucking, whoa, look me up on fucking Twitter book and we'll be best friends. We'll exchange smiley faces. And there's nothing wrong with that, kids. Fucking internet's a beautiful thing. I mean, I'm coming to you on it right now. But the internet isn't the information superhighway. The information superhighway is something different. You gotta, what's that? You gotta get out on the highway. That's a song, and life is a highway, you know. You gotta keep your ducks on the highway. That's a song. Oh, keep your ducks on the highway. So man, the information superhighway. I remember getting on it. I remember all the advertisements and the slogans. Everybody was so confident that they'd be the first to get there, and they knew what they were going to make it look like. You know, there'd be fucking websites for movies with a little fucking, you could play little audio quotes and shit from it, and me and my buddies would fucking spend like 2 hours to download a 15-second video clip that was barely bigger than your thumbnail. That's what we fucking called them, thumbnail pictures, man, because they were like the fucking size of a thumbnail. Look at your fucking thumbnail, kids. Look at how fucking small your hand is. Can you imagine watching a video that size? Can you imagine being patient enough to wait several hours to watch a video of that size? And for what? To watch some fucking TV show that you could just fucking watch on TV? Well, you gotta fucking tape it on your VCR, man. You can't just fucking look up scenes on YouTube. Weren't no fucking YouTube on the old information superhighway, man. It was like a highway, because it was like a thing that connected these points, but there was all this cold distance between it. And since then, we filled up that cold distance with advertisements and fucking social media and shit like that, man. Like now fucking Facebook and shit like that is the fucking information superhighway. Before that, man, we used to surf. I'm gonna surf the internet, we'd say. And I don't... Advertisers, people were trying to get money from the internet, but the only way to get money from the internet was to get people to buy into the internet, to make people invest into the internet, which meant that you had to make it palatable. You had to sell it to them. You had to convince them of like, oh, this isn't just for like elite, super smart nerds. Fucking anybody could do this, man. Like it's like just like surfing, dude. Like it's this casual, easy, simple thing that anyone could do. That's how they fucking sold it, man, by fucking trying to convince people that like it's just like this fun, like fucking, hey man, it's like fucking Point Break and shit, man. We're just gonna fucking surf the data, yo. And fucking, and that's how you get fucking Keanu Reeves in fucking cyberspace and Johnny Mnemonic, and that fucking leads to like the fucking Matrix, man. And the fucking Matrix, like that's like the living embodiment of the information superhighway. That's like if the information superhighway became self-aware and was like, yo, you're not a fucking butterfly dreaming, you're a man. You're a man dreaming his butterfly, and I control the dream, so I control your little butterfly wings. That's my abbreviated version of the Matrix. Go look up the Matrix episode. I did fucking episodes, and I'll probably do another one at some point, man. It's some crazy shit, man. Are you just a fucking brain in a jar, or are you a thinking, breathing, farting caterpillar of fucking beautiful wisdom? Who knows, man? I don't know. I just make up suggestions and ideas. I've got all sorts of suggestions and ideas for what'll help us get from one fucking day to the next, man. You gotta breathe real carefully and just fucking hope for the best. So what do we, the information superhighway, what am I? Who am I? Some fucking clown? Some cool guy wants to convince you to hang out with me online, man. Predators, that's what people were scared of were online, and they were right. There were lots of predators online, and there still are predators online. There's predators in lots of sorts of different form. There's fucking con artists who will take your money, and there's people who write fucking software that'll help steal people's money. It's not even real people writing the fucking stuff. It's fucking code. It's out there. It's looking for you. Everything wants your money, and it wants your time as a resource. It wants your attention. There's shit that just wants you to focus on it, to just fucking pay attention to it, man. It's a crazy thing to exist on, the information superhighway. You know, we open up our engines, we open up our browsers. Remember Netscape and Internet Explorer. We're going to explore the internet. Oh man, and everything would load so slowly. You'd create these different pages and fucking everything would take forever to fucking upload, and they were fucking like FTP, file transfer protocol. That's what they taught me about, kids. That's what they were like, man, this is the shit you're gonna need to know in the future. You're gonna need to know how to run fucking Gopher sites and shit like that. Like the internet, man, it was, you know that movie Alien? Where like there's a little fucking thing and it fucking like face rapes a dude and fucking puts an egg down his throat and fucking like then the egg like fucking bursts out of his belly and it turns into different things. The internet went through a whole bunch of different life phases just like that, you know, like it started out as one thing and then became another, and people were so sure that they understood what it was supposed to be. They were like, oh, we're gonna play video games, or we're gonna sell these things, or we're gonna make comic books on the internet. And fucking, it took years, man. It took years and years for the internet to catch up to people's dreams of what it might be. But now, man, if you're like fucking on the internet now, it's like, man, this is exactly what we thought the internet was gonna be like back in like 1992, when we only barely understood what the internet was going to be. We just gotten our fucking hooks into this strange new fucking place, and we're still exploring it now, kids. I mean, we're every day, you know, somebody puts up some new artistic website, or somebody figures out some new like social dynamic paradigm that creates a little subculture for even just a few hundred people that only exists for maybe a month or two. It's just a little flickering bubble. It'll be lost to time and space, but it's a part of human culture that's just as important as any other like fucking random religion or strange fucking bullshit that 2 or 3 people said to each other alone in a room one time. It's all fucking happening all at once, children, and it's all connected. We're all connected to one another, like with a rhythm, with this heartbeat, the beat of the information superhighway that knots us all together. We're all like fucking blood cells flowing through the veins together of this massive, stinky animal. This stinky, farting, puking animal. And we're its guts and its brains, and we're all working together, children. That's what the information superhighway offered to teach us. And it also brought a whole bunch of weird movies, like shit like Strange Days, and just like, you know, other weird fucking shit. It was an experimental time, children. And the world is an experimental place. It's a good place to experiment your life. You got to try to see what you can get out of it, kids. Well, I've been Uncle fucking whatever the fuck you call me. It doesn't matter what you call me. And this has been my episode where I talk to you about shit that I know and understand, and try to spread my knowledge and learn into you wonderful little fucking kids. And today I've been talking about the information superhighway, man. And I'm coming to you on the information superhighway. For more, fucking see, I don't know, some other episode I did. This has been a really good time, kids. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm gonna go take a nap.
Oh yeah, tell us your